The richest family you've never heard of once owned the lion's share of America's forest. Hi everyone, Ken here. Today we're uncovering the many mansions of Robert Long. This is one of America's largest fortunes that was hidden in plain sight in the middle of the country. Hit that subscribe button and let's explore this house. In 1850, Robert Long was born in rural Kentucky, one of 9 children on his family's working-class farm. In his early 20s, he struck out west, moving to Columbus, Kansas, where an uncle of his ran a bank. There he partnered with a friend, Victor Bell, to try his hand at the hay business, but the venture failed in the tough prairie economy. As they began liquidating their assets, Long noticed something telling. Buyers eagerly snapped up the old barn lumber. He realized there was a severe shortage of lumber in the area, and seizing this opportunity, Long pivoted from hay to lumber, outmaneuvering the town's only wood supplier, with lower prices which forced the competitor to sell their business to him. What started as a small-town lumberyard in the 1870s quickly grew into a vast enterprise. He and Bell formally incorporated the Long Bell Lumber Company in Columbus with plans for rapid expansion. He reinvested profits to acquire huge tracts of timberland across the South and Midwest, built his own sawmills, and opened retail lumberyards in one town after another. By owning every step of the process, from forest to finished board, Long Bell was able to dominate the market. The timing was perfect, America was booming, and so was demand for wood. Long Bell soon became the largest privately held timber company in the world, minting Long a fortune. By 1891, with business thriving, Long moved his family to the bustling Kansas City, Missouri to be closer to railroads and new markets. It was there that the lumber baron's influence only grew, and by 1906, he personally owned hundreds of thousands of acres of pine forest and oversaw dozens of lumber yards stretching from Louisiana to the Pacific Northwest. Long's success in timber made him one of the Midwest's wealthiest industrialists, securing his place as one of the nation's richest men. Flush with success, R.A. Long began to leave a literal mark on Kansas City's skyline. In 1906, he commissioned an audacious project, a towering new headquarters for Long Bell. When the R.A. Long building opened downtown in 1907, it stood 14 stories tall, making it the city's first true skyscraper, complete with a steel frame. Even as he built upwards in the city, Long was also planning an extravagant home for his family. In 1907, he began work on an estate that would reflect his Gilded Age wealth and civic stature. Perched on a hill overlooking Kansas City's North Terrace Park, the mansion was designed by architect Henry Hoyt in the grand Beaux-Arts fashion, with Corinthian columns and fine stonework. When it was completed in 1911, the Long family christened their 72-room palace Corinthian Hall. It reportedly cost over $1.25 million to build, making it Kansas City's first million-dollar residence, though in today's money that would be closer to $42 million. Entering the mansion, you would step into the stair hall, clad floor-to-ceiling in stone with intricate relief work all around. The grand staircase was a work of art in and of itself, with twisting metal balustrade resting on curving polished marble. The grand salon was finished out with painted wood paneling and adorned with gilded accents, and also below an incredibly ornate plaster frieze. The dining room was designed to be reminiscent of the Louis XIV style, with antique tapestries well illuminated by electric lights. The sophisticated European motifs continue into the library, which takes on a more English flair with Jacobean ceilings and a carved wooden mantel. As the house matured, the sun porch would have had plants creeping up its trellises towards the stained glass skylights overhead. But this wasn't the only mansion Long had in the area. In fact, this was the smaller of his 2 main properties. Never one to think small, he soon poured his resources into an equally grand country estate for his family. In 1913, at age 63, he embarked on creating Longview Farm on nearly 1,800 acres of rolling land just outside Kansas City's limits in Lee Summit, Missouri. Over the next 18 months, an army of 200 architects, craftsmen, and laborers transformed the land into what newspapers would dub a rural Versailles. The completed Longview Farm, opened in 1914, featured a 22,000-square-foot Spanish colonial-style mansion and over 50 outbuildings including horse barns, a dairy, a chapel, schoolhouse, workers' cottages, greenhouses, and even a racetrack with grandstands. Every structure was coordinated in white stucco walls and red tile roofs, presenting a harmonious vision across the estate's manicured grounds and a 20-acre lake. The scale and beauty of Longview were so spectacular that it became known as the world's most beautiful farm. Long had essentially built an entire self-sufficient village for his family and staff. His daughter Lula Long became a famous equestrian, riding the farm's show horses, and Longview stables produced championship steeds for decades. Long spared no expense in his personal passion project, one that reflected both his love of horses and his desire to create a pastoral paradise. The farm even had a philanthropic aspect. The Longs raised dairy cows there to supply safe milk for hospitalized children in Kansas City. In every sense, Longview Farm was the capstone of R.A. Long's real estate ventures, an estate as grand as any in America, born from the riches of lumber and the imagination of its owner. As the Roaring Twenties gave way to the Great Depression, Long's fortune waned. A downturn in the housing market and mounting philanthropic expenditures put a strain on Longview lumber. By 1934, the company was facing bankruptcy amid the economic collapse, and in that same year, Long passed away at the age of 83, ending a remarkable life journey. In an obituary, one writer noted that despite dying less wealthy than he once was, Long had not lost the respect and admiration of his community, a tribute to his character and contributions. Indeed, Long's legacy was already cemented in the landmarks he left behind. His beloved Corinthian Hall remained, eventually converted into Kansas City's public museum so that generations could explore local history within its ornate walls. Longview Farm, after years in the family, also survived and in recent times has been beautifully restored, its mansion now serving as an event venue and its grounds forming parks, a college campus, and a historic district for the community. Even the R.A. Long building, over a century later, still stands downtown on Grand Boulevard, now a protected historic property and architectural gem of the city's skyline. From the roaring heights of Kansas City's first skyscraper to the rolling fields of an idyllic farm, Robert Long built not just an empire of wood, but a legacy of stone and civic goodwill, one that still inspires and engages people in the heartland to this day. And with that, I'll turn it over to you. Which of his homes was your favorite, or perhaps something else stuck out to you? Either way, let me know down below in the comments section. And while you're there, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an exciting episode of This House.